So you finally hit your first harvest. Your flower looks dry, feels like air, and hits like sticks. No punch, nothing. Well, if your girl's on sticky or smelly, then you're making mistakes that are stealing your harvest potential. Don't worry, because in this video we're breaking down 5 advanced techniques that will help you get stickier, more potent flowers at the end of your harvest, and fast. Start straight off with number 1, and that's dialing in your VPD for max resin. Now this is an important one, guys. Sticky flowers start with the perfect conditions, and the most overlooked condition is VPD, or vapor pressure deficit. Now most home gardeners just chase temperatures or humidity, but it's not exclusive. Don't chase them separately, because that's the wrong move. What VPD does is control your plant's transpiration and stress levels. And if you're able to dial that in, controlled light stress plus optimal VPD equal resin overload. Now we've spoken about VPD on the channel in the past, and there's actually a really useful chart that you guys can use that will help you adjust your VPD depending on which phase of growth your ladies are in. Now as a general guideline, the ideal range for VPD when it comes to your flowering room is about 1.2 to 1.5 kPa. That's a general rule. When it comes to the humidity, a slightly lower humidity in flower around the 40 to 50% range is also ideal. And plus there's also a VPD calculator app that you guys can use that'll help you to monitor your leaf temperatures. So what's the result of dialing in your VPD? Well, it's simple, a stickier plant without any need for changing nutrients or lighting. All you do is dial in your VPD and you'll find yourself with more banging harvests. Now tip number 2 is a big one, guys, and I know a lot of y'all have different types of lights in your setup, different types of UVA, UVB, IR, all types of stuff, because there's so many different options out there, especially when it comes to LED, HID, high power sodium. There's just so many different ones. When it comes to flower in particular, guys, boosting UVB and far red lights can have a great impact on your ladies, especially in flower. So if you really want to turbocharge that trichome production, then all you need to do is hit your plants with a UVB light. Now let me break this down in a nutshell. Plants use trichomes as a defense for UV. So when you give them a little bit of UV, they'll literally fight back by oozing more resin. It's sort of like a stress response, survival response type of thing. Now a lot of people have differing thoughts when it comes to UVA, UVB, but UVB in particular, add a little bit of that in the last 2 weeks of flower. You can run it for only about 2 hours a day. You don't need to run it for the entire length of your flower cycle. What I mean is that you don't need to run it 12-12 along with your flowering lights. Just have it on for 2 hours a day. But aside from the UVB, you can also just throw in a little bit of far red, and that'll help to increase your flower size and resin synergy. But be careful, guys. Don't overdo it. You definitely don't want to overdo it. UVB can burn your plants. Don't want to burn your ladies trying to get some really nice flowers and end up with some scorched plants. That'll pretty much suck. So what you want to do is start slowly, increase gradually, and monitor closely. I can hear some of you guys screaming it in the comments. It all comes down to genetics. If your genetics are not on point, you're probably not going to get a really nice harvest with some sticky, dense flowers, are you? And that's the truth about it. So you guys make sure to get some really solid genetics, and that's where we got to shout out the iCan VIP Bean Club, man. The club is popping. We got fire genetics going out to VIPs all the time. We also just got a brand new exclusive fam line that recently dropped, and this is super limited. Check it out, guys. This is that jelly berry, super limited, a limited amount of packs, and all of them are numbered, only 62 of them. So make sure you guys grab them. Don't snooze on them, because almost half of them are already gone. I think more than half of them, to be honest. So make sure you guys get in on them before they're done. When they're gone, they're gone. So grab your exclusive limited pack, solid genetics. That's one of the easiest ways to level up your harvest, guys. Trust me on that one. But another way that you guys can level up your harvest and get some really nice fat sticky flowers is proper defoliation. Strategically remove some of those fan leaves, guys. Strategic defoliation. That'll help you guys so much, and it's one that I'm sure that a lot of you guys do, but I'm also sure that it's one that a lot of you guys just overlook. You just don't want to get in there and chop your ladies during flower, right? And I feel it. They're in flower, and you want to make sure that they get everything they need, so leave all the fan leaves on there. The truth is, if your lower flowers are larvae and the top coolers are not sticky, then you probably got a light penetration issue. and that's a big issue. I was just playing around. You may not need a big ass trimmer like this, but one like this will definitely work. Simple thing is, too many of those fan leaves will block airflow and light penetration. Both of those things are critical for terps and trichome production. The good thing is, guys, it's an easy fix. The defoliation before and after, really easy. I do a slight defoliation before I flip into flower, and I do a light defoliation after I flip to flower. Give it a couple weeks, let the plant recover, and you'll see where those new fan leaves are protruding from. And if things are getting too bushy in there, just do a slight little defoliation. Easy, simple stuff, guys. Now, I do a heavier defoliation at week 21 of flower. I strip some of those inner and lower fan leaves again at about day 42, and I focus on exposing some of those smaller lower bud sites. That way I can get a lot of flower and a lot of cola stacking up, because that's really what we want. Give the plant everything it needs, and that includes airflow and air circulation and light penetration. Don't forget it. You want to focus on exposing those bud sites and colas to more light. More light equals more controlled stress, which equals more resin. And don't be afraid to get aggressive with it. But if you notice signs of light bleaching or light burn, then obviously tone things down a little bit. And don't be afraid to get aggressive with the defoliation either, because a lot of people do super advanced defoliation techniques during flower, such as swazing, even lollipopping, which is a little bit less hardcore than swazing, but they're all experiments that you can use when you're flowering your ladies to figure out what's the best way that you can get those sticky flowers. Oh man, now don't crush me and get at me on this one in the comments, guys, but something else that you guys can do is do a little bit of a cold water flush. This is just straight up ice. There's a lot of bro science techniques about doing the ice flush, and that's actually not what I'm talking about. I'm not a big fan of the ice flush. This ice just melts and gets everywhere in your grow space and probably will overwater your ladies. So let's set this to one side, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the cold water flush. Okay, so the cold water flush, guys, and again, don't get at me in the comments. I'm not talking about the traditional flush. That's also a bro science technique with a lot of stigma around it. What I'm talking about is just watering your ladies with cold water. So instead of using the room temperature water, maybe cooling the water just a little bit, have it get a little bit chilly, maybe throw a couple blocks of ice in there, and have it get a little bit chillier. This is something that I've done in the past, and it's a little bit of a secret weapon to finishing strong. It's called cold stress. Now again, I'm not talking about stressing your ladies out extremely bad or flushing them when it comes to actually just dousing a bunch of water, but I am talking about gradually just dropping those temperatures during late flower, and that pretty much mimics fall. Think about it. Plants outdoors during the fall period, the temps start to drop just a little bit, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get at here. Just try to let the plant feel like it's in nature and those temps are just dropping just a little bit, gradually. And what that gradual reduction in temperature does is actually trigger the plant's defense mechanism. A lot of those trichomes spike, the colors pop, and the potency soars up into the sky. It gets really high. No pun intended. But that's actually something that a lot of you guys may notice when you're gardening during the winter months. A lot of times your plant's anthocyanins will really come out. A lot of colors will come out. Those purples will really come out. And that's because those reduced temps actually cause responses in the plant, and one of those responses is increased trichome development. So if you want some really frosty, fat, dense, sticky flowers, then that's the way to go. Give it a try. It may just work out for you. Now, what I've done in the past is drop the nighttime temps to about 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 15 to 18 degrees Celsius. And that's just during the last 2 to 3 weeks of flower, not for the entire flower period. Now, there are also some people that say these methods also help to preserve terps before harvest. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Is dropping temps or using cooler water something that you guys do during flower? I'm really interested to find out what you guys got to say. Ooh, now number 5, and I've saved the best for last, and that is switch to a dry finish. Stop overfeeding and switch to a dry finish. Now, the iCan Organics, the Veg Pack, and the Flower Power, these are really great organic solutions when it comes to your flowers, and they break down naturally, organically in the medium. The point here is, guys, that you don't want to burn your plants at the end of flower or overload them with nutrients, because what that does will affect the final taste, and that's not something that you guys want. And personally, that's why I go organic. Organic always wins for me when it comes to taste and flavor. But the truth is, most home gardeners overdo their nutrients, especially when it comes to later on in flower. They think later on in flower, let me pack on more nutrients so I can get some really nice swollen flowers. But the truth is, you want to do the opposite of that, and that's where the dry finish comes in. Because all overfeeding does is lead to burnt tips, low terpene production, and also a really harsher taste on the throat. Instead, the dry finish, which is basically cutting off those newts the last couple couple weeks of flower and allowing your plants to fade naturally, what it does is focus on sugar and resin instead of more weight. And I think that that's really important because at that point, the sugar and resin is really where the trichome, the taste, the flavor, and all those nice effects to really come in. What you're looking for is that entourage effect. Not just some massive flowers that taste like trash, but some really nice sized flowers that also have some really nice effects attached to it. So it goes straight back to what I was saying earlier. Switch to plain water or just use a light enzyme flush, but plain water has worked great for me. Let those leaves yellow and naturally fade, and that's something that the iCan Flower Power does really well. Pull some nice organic natural fades. You want to see those nice darker greens turning colors, getting really nice lime green, even maybe purple. It just looks so great, and that's what I call the fall colors during harvest, and you just can't beat it. So if you want to go next level, try a dry finish. Don't feed at all for the last week or two before harvest, and you'll find that your plants have produced so much better, because that one move can boost your trikes and improve your flavor. So all that said, there you go. 5 easy ways that you guys can improve any sad, wispy, not sticky flowers at the end of harvest, because everyone wants that potent, sticky, good. Just to recap real quick, master that VPD. Add a little bit of UVB or far red. Defoliate to improve light and air penetration. That's a big one. Genetics. Join the iCan VIP Bean Club. And also try a little bit of the cold stress. I'm not talking about ice flushing or any of that crazy stuff. Just reduce the temps a little bit later on in flower. And finally, try a dry finish. Don't overfeed. That's a pro tip that a lot of you guys may be able to find some benefit with. Now, if any of these helped, drop a like, smash that like, show some love. Now, let me know what you guys think about those. If there's anything that you do or don't do, drop them in the comments down below. I'm going to be hanging out down there. And if you got any tips for more sticky, nice, dank flower, then drop them down there as well. I'm going to be hanging out down there with you guys. And wait, if you want to find out more about growing that fire, then check out any episode on screen right now. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, fam.